And the Colonial Spotlight is on Amanda Craig. Colonial Sports Center is next.
Come to make things right. You and I must fight for our rights. You and I must fight to survive.
Good evening once again. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Colonial Sports Center. I'm Ed Albert. He's Chris Baginski. And Chris, we've got another full week ahead of us here, a great packed show.
That we do, because we've got a lot of teams that we're playing here on campus, but also had some road games, but the conference season starting up for many of the teams here.
That's right, Chris, and you've also got some more current news for us tonight.
That we do, Ed. Throughout the night, we'll be providing you score updates for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Right now, they are leading 5-3 against the Flyers with 5 minutes to go in the third period. Tyler Kennedy just got a goal a few minutes ago.
And also this week, we are setting you up with the women's volleyball team and their matchup against crosstown rival Duquesne. Brooks Bratton will have more on that for us later. Plus, the Colonial Spotlight is on freshman opposite side hitter Amanda Craig. And if we take a look here at last week's results, the women's ice hockey team was in action against Minnesota Duluth. They went up there and got a win, 4-1.
And women's soccer was also in action. The Colonials took the game against conference opponent Sacred Heart 1-0, and they also took on the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights, and we will have that highlight coming up for you later in the show. And, well, what about tonight's show? Tonight's show is full of variety. It's like a sampler platter at your local sports bar. Naturally, we have football, but we also have tennis, field hockey, and, of course, the other kind of footy. So stay tuned, why don't you?
Colonial Sports Center. You ready?
CSC, we're the sports show with the ugly mic flag. When ugly reporters use our mic flag, they're beautiful. You, sir.
Yeah?
Would you consider yourself an ugly reporter?
Well, I wouldn't consider...
You're a very ugly reporter. Here, try this.
Okay.
Look, you're a beautiful reporter. CSC, hooray CSC.
Hooray, CSC,
says the beautiful reporter.
Endurance. Commitment. Sacrifice. Rowing is the ultimate team sport. The Robert Morris University women's rowing team is looking for walk-ons. If you're strong, athletic, and have a great attitude, we'd love to have you on the team. You have nothing to lose.
I'm David Dietrich.
And I'm Susan Defino.
Our extension is 3865.
Colonial Sports Center. You ready?
Dropping to a 0-4 record following a homecoming loss to Bryant, the Colonial schedule would not get any easier as rival Duquesne was next on the docket. Trying to find ways to change the Colonial's fortune, Coach Joe Walton turned to freshman quarterback Jeff Sinclair. Would this be enough to get the Colonials in the win column? Let's take the bus ride downtown and check it out. So it was homecoming night for, afternoon for the Dukes down at the Arthur J. Rooney Stadium. And so we'll start in the first quarter with Connor Dixon dropping back there at the RMU 7-yard line, and he finds Dave Williams in the end zone. Dukes go up early, 7-0. Then it's the Colonials' turns to get the ball. Jeff Sinclair tries to get the first down here on third down, only 3 yards. That sets up this punt, and back there waiting is Williams again. He would be prominent in this highlight as he calls for the fair catch, and that's where Duquesne would be able to start the next possession. They start marching down the field, but then Rolf Bathold steps in front of that pass, picks it off, and goes 49 yards all the way down to the Duquesne 17-yard line, and that would put Sinclair and the offense in a great position to have a scoring chance. So Sinclair here on a third down attempt. He's looking to the corner of the end zone, and he sees Sherrod Evers there, but ball too long. A flag comes in, could be a little contact, but the referees gather up and they pick the flag up, so that leaves Garrett Clausen this attempt for the field goal. However, it would go wide to the left, stays 7-0 Duquesne. Then in the second quarter, Duquesne on the 1-yard line, Williams in motion, but they hand it off to Marek Lipinski, the fullback, for the touchdown. What a great way to sell the fake. And the Dukes go up 14-0 now. The Colonials turn again. Sinclair on a 4th down and 16. They're going for it. He's trying to make something happen, finds Evers there, but he comes up just a yard short. It's a turnover on downs, and so Duquesne charges down the field, and they hand it off to Larry McCoy for the 11-yard touchdown there, and that puts Duquesne out to just a rolling lead. Third quarter, this time it's Duquesne's quarterback Dixon. He's going to rush right up the middle, makes that man miss, goes out there all the way out of bounds, a 24-yard gain, pretty nice for a quarterback, but a late hit there on the quarterback, another 15-yard penalty, and it gives Dixon the opportunity to find Jay Spinks in the end zone, 27-0 Duquesne ahead. The Colonials, however, just when you think they're out of it, Sinclair finds a wide-open Shadrae King for the 19-yard touchdown, makes it 27-7. And then after a Duquesne fumble here early in the fourth quarter, the Colonials in great field position. When Sinclair rolls to his right, he's going to make a man miss there, break out of a tackle, and hop into the end zone. A 9-yard run, 27-13. Clausen misses the point after, so it stays like that. Then Evers adds a 53-yard touchdown. It's 27-20, but McCoy right there goes 13 yards. And that's all she wrote. Take a look here at our scoreboard. The Colonials fall 34-20. Shadrae King had 6 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown. On the defensive side for the Colonials, DeMichael led the team with 12 tackles. And for the Dukes, Spinks had 6 receptions for 51 yards and a touchdown.
We have a sport here on campus with a good following and a lot of hardworking players on it. That team is the tennis team. They took on Mercyhurst and West Virginia Wesleyan, and we have the highlights of the latter matchup from this weekend. So, Ed, we always enjoyed doing highlights of this team last year, now didn't we?
We did, Chris. Tennis is always a fun one, and boy, if that doesn't say tennis with that shot, I don't know what does.
Well, I think that this shot actually would right here. First singles, Igor Neves is facing that gentleman right there who represents the West Virginia Wesleyan Tigers. And, you know, to be honest, that shot would have been in doubles play.
Yeah, but this is why the little thing at the beginning tells you singles, Chris.
Yeah, so, of course, you have to keep it closer into the court. Could Igor do that? Well, let's see. That, he kept it in.
The back of the net, though.
He kept it in, but he hit the net, and you can't do that, Ed. But I'm pretty sure that Igor would pick it up later on in the game. He is, after all, close to superhuman, but that one a little too strong.
You know, Igor's teammate is our former producer, Nazare Dorash, but our current producer, also pretty good at tennis, just not able to be on the team.
We'll never forget that one matchup in Slippery Rock Open in 2009. Anyway, on to second singles, and here's another fine gentleman by the name of Dave Pinto, who plays on the Colonials tennis team.
Pinto, a leader on this team, and he's trying to get the team back in position as they're doing pretty well this year, Chris.
He called that one out. Not quite sure if the umpire agreed with him. And now that is a strong shot right there. Couldn't even reach it, Ed.
Not at all.
And there's that one hitting the net. Can't win them all, but Dave Pinto actually did win that matchup, as you will see as we have the statistics for you. The Colonials fell in that matchup, but Igor won his matchup 6-3, 4-6, 7-6, 7-5 in the tiebreaker. Dave Pinto in straight sets 6-3 to 6-4. And Chelsea Fry has more with the Colonials tennis team.
Colonial men's tennis team seems to be improving their match play this year, as senior Dave Pinto explains.
We can
There's a lot of positives out of today. We haven't been a good doubles team the past few years, but we were able to take the doubles point in the last 2 matches, which is very good for us. We had a lot of very close matches the past 2 days, which is good. We're able to play a lot of tennis, get a lot of points in, and just build. I mean, it's still early in the season. This is our 3rd match we've played, and 1 and 2. I mean, it's a good record we've having for the past. I mean, better than we've done previous years.
Last year's team was a young team that looks to improve on their record this year when conference play begins.
Well, conference is still a very long ways away. It's end of last weekend of 2nd semester, so we still have 20 matches between now and then. A very hectic spring season. So just need to lay a good groundwork in the fall. It's kind of like our preseason. Like football has their 2-a-days, we have our fall semester. You get to gauge where we are, what we need to do, what we need to work on over the off season, and just helps us prepare.
In preparing for conference play, the men's tennis team has noticed their weaknesses.
It's early in the season. It's very cold out here. We haven't had a lot of practice time the past week due to weather, so I mean we're kind of winging it right now. Not a lot you can do.
The team played West Virginia Wesleyan, who is always a tough opponent.
We have always played West Virginia Wesleyan very tough. The past years they've come out on top. We've had a lot of very close matches. Our strength that we were able to hang in against them. They have a lot of different styles of play. They have a lot of different players from around the world.
The worldly players took a toll on the RMU Colonials this match, but let's hope that the rest of their non-conference season goes well and prepares them for their conference play in the spring semester. This is Chelsea Fry for Colonial Sports Center.
Opening Northeast Conference play against the Bryant Bulldogs on Friday, the field hockey team looked to start anew and put the non-conference play behind them. So let's go to Joe Walton Stadium to see if the familiar foes would provide for a better result. So the Bulldogs and the Colonials facing off here, opening the Northeast Conference play, and it was a wet, rainy, and cold afternoon at the Joe Wall. We'll start here in the first period. RMU and Anna Miller, some good defense, but it was just early on. It would not last for long. And then off of a penalty corner, Bryant's Catherine Andrewson able to work the ball to Courtney Landy, and it trickles past into the net. That's in the 15th minute. Then Steph Seeley starting to make some good saves here on the Bryant Bulldogs, keeping the ball out of the net. But the Colonials would take a penalty and give Bryant another corner. They had 10 on the day, and so all the hard work here by the Bulldogs sets up Landy again, and this time she's able to deflect it in right there. And then following that goal, RMU coach Olivia Netzler appealing her case. Take a listen. And so Netzler not able to get a timeout there. She was appealing the goal, not able to happen. And Bryant up 2-0. They keep piling it on as Alex Zarniak makes it 3-0 there. And then 2 minutes later at the 40-minute mark, Julie Gabriel gets the green card right here. The frustration mounting on the Colonial side. They keep running the mouths, and it's just an unfortunate day. RMU trying to put something together still, but that ball going to go wide. Just wasn't clicking today. And then the 45-minute mark, Toby Maltz finishes it off 4-0. That would lead to a goalie change as Seeley comes out in favor of Paige Neat. And just look, you can read the body language on Seeley. Not a very good day for the Colonials. And if you take a look at the scoreboard, the Colonials fall 4-0. 24 shots by the Bulldogs. That's really the story of the day, as well as the penalty corners, as I mentioned earlier. The 10 by Bryant, only 6 for the Colonials. So there's your telltale sign.
A Bulldog indeed. The Colonials women's soccer team came into Sunday's game against Fairleigh Dickinson at 1-1 in the NEC. So the Colonials could put themselves into good position in the early going of conference play with a win. But did they win? Onward to the highlights. So the Colonials taking on the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson. The Colonials were decked out in blue that Sunday afternoon. Bit of a change up from the whites we've seen them wear most of this. And you see a through ball across the box from Jamie Mora over to Kathleen Caggiano. That was the first goal that put them up 1-0. And the score overall was 6-0, 19 shots to 16. The Colonials were able to win both the shots battle and the score battle. Ayanna Davis with 2 goals. So, Ed, what is blue and red and very hot?
The 1936 musical Red Hot and Blue?
No, it's the Colonial Spotlight, and it's next.
I tried. Stay tuned.
Right down to football. Bryce, a whole lot going on this season. But I can't go back now. And I doubt that our Dean Taylor.
Colonial Sports Center. You ready?
Shove! Things have been a little stressful around here lately, and the Colonial thought it'd be a good idea to do some Tai Chi.
This week in Colonial sports, the water words.
Next. She just looks amazing. I can't believe how did she lose all that weight? I am? Oh, excuse me. Today on Colonial Sports Center, we'll have an interview with Joe.
Next.
Colonial Sports Center. You ready?
Well, okay, let's now take a look at that highlight of the matchup against Fairleigh Dickinson from the women's soccer team. Bit of technical issues beforehand, but let's take a look at it now. So, the Colonials came out decked in the blue, which is different than the white and red that they wore beforehand. Stop me if you've heard this before. Now, in the first... You haven't? Okay, well, here's something you haven't heard. A through ball across the box from Jamie Mora goes over to Kathleen Caggiano, and that goes into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to the Colonials. Now, in the 11th minute, Caggiano will take a corner kick, and Chelsea Mazgowitz heads it into the net. It is now 2-0 RMU. Now, due to time constraints, we can't bring you footage of 2 consecutive Ayanna Davis goals to make it 4-0, but here's Christy Baldesberger with a free kick, and here's Megan McKellar misplaying it, goes over her head, 5-0 to the Colonials. Now, you are about to see some end-to-end pack action here. Jessica Olin takes the ball, and she is going to roll it to Caggiano. Caggiano in the defending third, towards the middle third, into the attacking third. She's going to set it up for Rachel Sebbins. Brilliant through ball, and too wide, unfortunately. But Caggiano will get that one, and that was the 6th goal the Colonials scored. Final score, 6-0.
Chris, that's a great victory for the women's soccer team, but I think we have someone else that's got another women's team for us, right, Chris?
I believe so, and that's Brooks Bratton. Brooks, what do you have for us?
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center Inside. I'm Brooks Bratton, and tonight the women's volleyball team is in the spotlight. Amanda Craig is our athlete of the week, but before we get to her, there was a game to be played. The Colonials had beaten St. Francis and Quinnipiac in matches earlier in the week, so how would they fare against the Duquesne Dukes? There's only one way to find out. Let's take a look at the highlights against the Duquesne Dukes. Over at the Sewell Center across campus here. As we head into the highlights, the Robert Morris Colonial women, they're jumping around, getting hyped up, ready to go. And as we take a look at Duquesne, not so much, but they did come to play, trust me, nevertheless, they came to play. Amanda Craig, Tex as they call her, she's getting ready to go. We start off with the first set here. Sarah Sherman from my alma mater, Mount Lebo, with the serve, put up by Alyssa Bennett, and Mackenzie Ton spikes it down over the net point for Bobby Moe. Now, take a look at this, a fantastic volley by both teams here. It just went back and forth across all sides. Countless numbers of assists, hits, digs, and whatnot. And if you're keeping score at home, I've done the dirty work for you. 37 hits in all in this volley. And it just went back and forth, folks. This isn't your average, ordinary game of picnic volleyball. Non-stop action, and look at the athleticism throughout. Back and forth over the net for Duquesne and Robert Morris. Nice dive there, put back up in the air. Sherman hits it back over the net, still in play as it pops up again. And we're still going here. And eventually, Alyssa Bennett and Mackenzie Ton, they're right there to get the point for the Colonials. Back and forth again we go. Another nice volley, and Amanda Graham, she is everywhere. She finished with 9 kills. Colonials get the point there. On in the second set now, Amanda Craig with the serve. Nice save by Sherman there, and Liz Homan finishes it off with the spike. Point goes to Duquesne. Still second set, another serve, and the same result. Nicole Wright's going to finish this one off for the Dukes as they get yet another point. On to the third set now, Amanda Craig with the serve. Oh, useful shot that. It's an ace, 1 of 3 on the night for the Colonials. But the Dukes proved to be too much. This time it's Chelsea Tillotson setting up Ashley Booth for the point. And the Duquesne Dukes come into the Sewell Center and defeat the Colonials in 3 straight sets. 25-17, 25-22, 25-22. The top performers, as I said, Sarah Sherman, a freshman at Duquesne, 9 kills, 14 digs. On the Robert Morris side, it's the Amanda show. Amanda Graham with 9 kills, Amanda Craig with 3 kills and 6 digs on the night.
I think for the most part, we did a really good job of just executing sort of the premise of the game plan that we had for tonight, and that was trying to stop their middle attack. I think number 13, Homan, she's one of their strongest hitters, and we kind of focused on just kind of placing our serves in sort of a short location to kind of create a lot of chaos in their offense, and that worked. It was, and we got, because of that, we got quite a few more blocks than what they did. But also at the same time, the blocks we didn't get, we weren't able to get kills off of, and I think that was the difference in the game. I think it's the same way we have all season long is we fought in spots where we could. It didn't necessarily work out, but we learn and grow from it, and we'll come back and work hard on Thursday. We've got a day off tomorrow, but we'll come back on Thursday and just kind of focus on those types of things, and also look ahead to our conference opponents, which are this weekend too.
As aforementioned, Amanda Craig, the 5'11 freshman out of Houston, Texas, is our Athlete of the Week. The opposite side hitter was a 4-year letter winner in volleyball while attending St. Agnes Academy in the Houston area. Now for an inside look at the girl they call Tex, it's our Colonial Spotlight Athlete of the Week, Amanda Craig. If you're low on munchies, run. Don't walk to the fridge, because coming up after the break, it's the top 5 plays of the week. Showstoppers is next.
Here at Colonial Sports Center, we train terribly hard in order to provide you with the best show possible. Sports Center. You ready? Here at Colonial Sports Center, we cover multiple Division I NCAA sports like football, lacrosse, rowing, and ping pong. Sports Center. You ready? Here at Colonial Sports Center, we train terribly hard in order to provide you with the best show possible. Colonial Sports Center. You ready?
Tonight, Muse is the opening act for Ed Albert?
That is my name, Chris. Do not wear it out. But right here, this is Igor Neves, and the West Virginia Wesleyan players a little confused by the brilliant Brazilian. Igor showing off out on the court.
On to number 4 and the footy pitch. Baldisberger's free kick, and Megan McKellar decides, I'm not going to touch that at all.
No defense there for the Knights, but this is football. And speaking of defense, that ball freezes in the middle of the air, and Rolf Batholt breaks the space-time continuum, reaches up, grabs it, goes 49 yards all the way down to the Duquesne 17. However, that would lead to a missed field goal.
Number 2. Well, some things you have to do on your own. Jeff Sinclair knows that. So the promising young freshman quarterback dives for the pylon, gets the 6 points for the Colonials.
And your best play of the evening, Chris, it's Kathleen Caggiano putting that one in the back of the net. The 6th goal for the Colonials as they roll over, figuratively and literally, over FDU. And that is your show stoppers. And if you take a look here at our upcoming schedules, you'll see men's hockey in action this weekend against Queens and a couple of exhibition games. And so their season getting underway very quickly. They'll be coming at us fast and furious before you know it.
Then also we've got volleyball on the 10th against Bryant at home, 3 p.m. Central Connecticut State. The next day, Sunday at 1 p.m. A pair of NEC conference games.
And field hockey, Chris, they're still going to be in conference play against St. Francis, PA, and then against Siena. So hopefully they'll be able to start getting into the win column in the conference.
Women's footy, Long Island, on the island, 6 p.m. And then 2 days later against Wagner at 1 p.m.
And men's soccer, Chris, here at home. A couple of games against Sacred Heart and Fairleigh Dickinson. So let's get the men out there in the column if you're able to on campus here. Get out there and support the Colonials, and let's pick up a victory. And you can't just watch our Colonial Sports Center, so tune in to RMU Live on Tuesdays at 5:30, produced by the great Chris Walker. It is your campus, local, and world news headquarters on RMU-TV, Channel 98, and over on the web at rmulive.com. Alrighty, so Chris, we've had a great show tonight, and we just have to thank Marty Galosi, the entire RMU athletic department, all the teams and coaches, because without them, we would not be able to put this show together. It's really a big thing, and they help us out a lot, Chris.
Yes, and another group of individuals I would like to thank would be the Pittsburgh Penguins for defeating the Philadelphia Flyers 5-4 over in Philadelphia. Player of the game, Evgeny Malkin.
And how about Brazil, Chris? I mean, we like to say goodnight to Brazil, but they had a pretty big event.
Yes, the 2016 Summer Olympic Games have been awarded to Rio de Janeiro. I'm sure they will do a fantastic job. A lot of people might have wanted Chicago to win it, but I think that Rio probably had the best package put together.
Maybe we'll get to see Igor down there participating.
Ah, yes.
That'd
Go
be
for
nice.
gold, my friend. Go for gold.
Yeah, well, that's all we have for you tonight, folks. We thank you for watching us. So for the entire crew, I'm Ed Albert. He's Chris Baginski. So long, everybody.